Welcome to this lab where we are going to do some hands-on practice to demonstrate the concepts of identity and access management. But first, you must be thinking, what is identity and what is access? Here, during this tutorial, we will be using the Linux system. Identity defines who you are. It defines what distinguishes you from another person or another service on the system. We have concepts like username, user IDs, and group, which are used to distinguish users from other users. Now, referring to what access refers to what you're permitted to do on the system or what what you're permitted to do on the system. We use concepts like file permissions and privileges, even group memberships to demonstrate what access is. Now let's go on into the labs and get working. In our first lab, we're going to explore the concept of least privileges. Here, we're going to create 3 users of the system. So I'll go ahead and create the users, 3 users on the system. So I'll input my password. Sorry, I must have made a mistake. Okay, now I'm able to create Lionel. I'll also create Caitlin. Oh, I already created Caitlin, but this is how we create her, the web, and I think I've also created my. Just verify that. So I have 3 users on the system, and in this lab, we're going to be exploring the concepts of least privileges. To this, we are going to edit the sudo file. And add what these users can do. Okay, these are the 2 lines I've added. I've added Lionel and Caitlin, such that Lionel is able to perform all tasks in all directories on this system, which means that Lionel is actively an administrator with all administrative rights. And Caitlin, she's only able to run the all commands in this binary file systemctl, and she'll only be able to see the status of AppArmor. It's a service running in the background. Now we're going to verify this. I'll close this file. To verify that the permissions we granted are active, we're going to log in as a user. So we have logged in. We should be able to perform any sudo activity using this account. So we're going to try a few of them. As for the password, we input the password and we see that it's possible. We're also going to try and check some status of some daemons running in the background, such as AppArmor. Okay, that does not work here. And here we go. So we're able to perform 2 sudo tasks using Leonie's account, which means that Leonie is able to have privileges to also the services. So we've left Leonie's account. Now let's check what Caitlin can do on the system. Now we are logged in as Caitlin. We'll try the first task. The first command we run for Lionel, see if it works. This command should not work. So here we see that Lionel cannot access this file, which is where this command is found. But let's try the file where Caitlin can access and see if she's able to perform the task. Let's check the status of app armor. And there we go. You see that Caitlin can view this the status, can run this command, but she cannot run the previous command. So here we have been able to segregate privileges and given Caitlin only what she needs by giving Lionel access to the entire system. So that's it for task 1. We're going to move on to the next task. In this task, we're going to explore how to disable the sudo time. When you log in as sudo on a Linux system, it's by default it's open for 5 minutes before it resets, such that if you want to log in again, you need to input the password again. But in this activity, we're going to disable that timer such that every time you want to log in as a sudo or you want to perform some sudo activities, you're going to need the sudo password. Now let's try. If we run it, the command sudo fs, which displays the disk partitions on the drive. If we run another sudo command again, I made a mistake with the spelling. Okay, let's just say SSD, even though it does not exist here. You see, we can run this command without inputting the password. So there are two ways of doing this. We can do sudo -k to reset the timer. Now, if I want to do another sudo activity, for example, let's run the command above. Now it requires me to input the password. If I run another activity again, the same command, it doesn't require me to input the password. So how can we permanently disable this so that every time we need to do a sudo activity, we're going to need the password we need to edit the sudo file, sudo vsudo. Oh, I need sorry. Okay, so we're going to go down. I've written the command somewhere. I did the exercises before. Okay, here we go. And we're going to uncomment this line, which should allow us to save the file, exit. Any sort of activity we need to do, we're going to be requiring the password. So I want to do another sort of activity. Display this. I'm going to require a password. So every time I need to do a sort of activity, I'm going to be required the password. And this activity is important for servers which are highly secure, and we want that anytime someone is accessing these servers or tries